Of the Great War of the Ring, many songs have been sung and many tales told. The names of heroes like Gandalf the Grey, Aragorn the King, and Frodo the Ringbearer are greatly revered, and rightly so. Yet Sauron's grasp stretched much further than the lands of Gondor and Rohan alone, and his forces might have done great evil in the north of Middle-earth, had a handful of heroes not stood in his path. Their stories, too, deserve to be told. Pay heed now to one such tale, which begins here in the town of Bree, just a few short days before Frodo arrived on his quest.
Aragorn.
Eredon. Well met. And in company with Andriel of Rivendell and Farin of Erebor. An unlikely trio to find walking through the doors of the Prancing Pony. You were at Sarn Ford last I knew. Do you bear news from Halbarad?
Yes. Grim news.
I feared it would be so. Quickly, tell me what has happened, but keep your voices low. There are unfriendly ears, even here in Bree.
3 days passed. The guard at Sarn Ford was attacked by 9 Black Riders.
Stand fast, Rangers!
We were overwhelmed, and the enemy passed into the Shire.
This is worse than I imagined. I know these riders. It is from Mordor they come. Our folk could not hope to stand against the 9 together. How bad were our losses?
Very bad. We tried to resist them, but they were surrounded by an aura of unnatural dread.
There is more you should know. After the rout, one of the Black Riders met with an ally, a man of great malice and power.
As our master commanded, I have stirred up the orcs of the mountains. Even now, I have a force gathering amid the ruins of old Fornost.
Return at once and prepare your forces. We will have need of them soon.
My orcs will be ready. These lands have known peace for too long. They will soon feel the Dark Lord's wrath.
If this Agandaur has a force at Fornost, then our position grows all the more desperate.
But why all this force against the peaceful halflings? It can't be the enemy sees them as a threat.
I will say this much. There is a hobbit of the Shire who should be coming this way with a great burden. If it falls into the hands of the enemy, it will mean doom for us all. Now this hobbit is adrift on the road with enemies all around. I must find him before they do. And I need you to help me keep him safe.
You are my chieftain. I will gladly do whatever you command.
I'm a part of this now as well.
Then we 3 are of one mind. How can we aid you?
We must reduce the threat from the enemies gathered at Fornost. Travel there and do whatever you can to keep the enemy's eye turned towards you and away from the Shire.
Perhaps we will have help in this task. Eladan and Elrohir were in the north when last I heard. Any gathering of the enemy is certain to attract their attention.
Good. You could find no better allies than the sons of Elrond half-elven.
I hope we meet. But with or without help, the enemy will be kept busy. We'll make sure of that. I have a few questions, if I may, Aragorn.
Shh. Here in Bree, there is no Aragorn. Only Strider the Ranger.
Yes, Strider it is. But what will you do now?
I will continue the search for the hobbit I spoke of. I've already scoured the road between here and the Shire, but found no trace of him. I fear he may have left the road, perhaps to escape pursuit. My hope now is that he will make his way here to Bree, the only safe haven for many miles. But if he does not appear soon, I will take to the road again in search of him. Should the enemy at Fornost join in the hunt, well, you understand just how grim our chances will become. I need you to prevent that. Go to Fornost. Take the fight to them.
I don't understand why you hide your name. Surely it is a name to be proud of.
The Dark Lord in Mordor would not be pleased to know that Isildur's heir still lives. The time is not right for Aragorn, son of Arathorn, to stand revealed to the world. For now, I am simply Strider.
What of this man, Agendaur, who met with the Black Riders? What do you make of him?
Some servant of the Dark Lord, and by his name one to be feared. His presence in the North bodes ill for us all, but I'm glad you discovered it. At least now we are forewarned.
What is it about his name that tells you he is someone to fear?
That name is from a language few now speak, but it was once the native tongue of our ancestors, the men of Númenor.
Agendaur is one of us? One of the Dunedain?
Not a Dunedain exactly, but in the distant past we had common ancestors. While our forebearers rejected the lies of the Dark Lord, not all of the men of Númenor did so. Many were enticed by his promises of power. Their descendants serve him still. Many are great warriors and sorcerers, but they are consumed by darkness. They are known as the Black Númenorians, and their hatred for the Dunedain is very great. This Agendaur may prove a foe as deadly as the Black Riders.
Those things that attacked us at San Ford, those Black Riders, I've never seen anything like them before. What are they?
Do you not know them? There are whispered tales and legends enough that tell of them. They are the Nine, the Ring Wraiths. Of all the servants of the enemy, they are the most feared.
This Agendaur, he was no wraith. He seemed like a man, one filled with malice and dark power, but a man nonetheless. But what kind of man would serve the Dark Lord?
Not all the Dark Lord's servants are wraiths and orcs. There have been and still are many men, warriors and kings that walk alive under the sun, and yet are under his sway, willing or unwilling.
What can you tell me of Fornost?
Fornost was once a great city, the capital of the Dunedain kingdom of Arnor. It fell to the Witch King long ago. The men of Gondor and the elves formed an alliance that drove the Witch King out, but Fornost was never rebuilt. The ruins remain a place of dread for many. The men of Bree call it Dead Man's Dyke and fear to go near. It is a perfect place for our enemies to gather in secret.
So, Agendaur chose well, it seems. We'll travel to Fornost and see what we can do to upset his plans. Bree is a pleasant enough place, but the people here mistrust my kind.
This is Fornost, yet I see no sign of the enemy.
These ruins could hide a large army. We might even now be under the gaze of unfriendly eyes.
Well, we came to provide a distraction for Aragorn, and what better way to do that than walking in the front door? Let's be about it. Beware! Goblins! Servants of the enemy, beware! Mind the archers! You face a ranger now! Nearly done for.
Back on your feet, my friend. We need your help.
Much appreciated, friend.
On your guard! There are yet more of them!
Servants of the enemy, beware!
Everyone unhurt.
These ruins are not sound.
We must find a way out of these pits. These goblins are small, but deadly all the same.
Oh, you're caught between the hammer and anvil now!
Face a ranger now!
To battle! You'd best flee if you value your life.
Servants of the enemy, beware!
To battle!
and bolts!
Servants of the enemy, beware!
Ah, a hidden Dunedain cache. What creature could be making those cries?
I thank you, friends. Without your timely arrival, my death would have been slow, but certain.
You can speak.
Why, of course. The great eagles of the north speak as well as any man. I am called Dalaran. My home is in the Misty Mountains, and I serve Gwaihir, Lord of Eagles. Who is it I have to thank for my rescue?
I am Eridan, one of the Dunedain of the north. And my companions are Andriel and Farin.
Then I am indebted to you, Eridan of the Dunedain, and to your friends.
What brought you here to Fornost?
I often range far across the lands of the north, gathering news for Gwaihir, my lord. When I saw activity here in long-abandoned Fornost, I grew curious and flew lower to investigate.
We hope to find allies here. Have you seen any elves in the city?
Not long ago, I heard the clash of arms and the shouts of goblins nearby. I assumed you were the source, but it is possible there are other allies in the city. I cannot say where they might be now.
Did you see any sign of the one who leads this force?
I saw a tall man, heavily armored. The goblins obeyed his commands. Who he is, I cannot say, but he had an aura of menace, like one tainted by the shadow.
Agandar. It must be.
You know this man?
He is a servant of the Dark Lord. We must find him and destroy him if we are able.
I will assist you, but it will be perilous. The enemy has positioned war machines upon the inner wall. They limit my ability to fly freely.
If we could reach the top of the wall, we might be able to destroy the machines.
Beyond those doors, you will find a passage and stairs leading up to the wall.
The machines are certain to be heavily guarded. We have little chance of surprising the goblins with but one way to approach.
I will take to the air and draw their fire. If we are fortunate, that will allow you to gain the top of the wall unobserved.
Very well. Let's go.
Hello there. Ranger, are you? Let me guess. You've sprung some rivet or busted a blade out there roaming about the wild, and you need old Elmin to make it right again.
You recognize me as a ranger, do you? Then you must know some of my folk.
Know 'em? No, not really. You're kind of usually tight-lipped, like to keep your secrets and all. But I have dealt with a fellow named Ador now and again. Trades me work for tools and iron on occasion. He knows his way around an hammer and anvil, he does. Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Prancing Pony. What can I do for you?
Is Strider no longer in town?
He left town with a party of Shire hobbits that came in just after you left. Seemed like an odd pairing, if you don't mind my saying so. They were strange folk, these hobbits.
Strange? In what way?
Well, for one, they seemed to be in some sort of trouble. Even before they showed up, we had this black-cloaked rider come round asking after hobbits from the Shire. He put a chill into my veins, that one, he did.
A Black Rider? What became of him?
I can't say for certain, but more of them turned up after the first. They came into the town the same night as the hobbits. It was fortunate your friend Strider kept them hidden that night. Not long after, 5 of them broke down the gates and rode through the town, howling like a storm. Last anyone saw, they were traveling east.
Thank you, and goodbye.